story that was in a book by Paul Austin. He's one of those wonderful people from National Public Radio who invited stories from Americans. They got some 4,000 of them. And they collected a number of them in a book that was called, I Thought My Father Was God. Now, most of those stories were signed, but the one I'm going to tell you was not. And it was simply, the letters were VS after the title. The title was Homeless in Prescott, Arizona. I think of her as Virginia. Last spring, I made a decision. I decided that I did not wish to wait 8 years to retire. I did not wish to be a legal secretary anymore. So, I quit my job. I sold my house and my car and my belongings, and I gave away my cat. And I moved to Prescott, Arizona, which is a charming town with a community college and a very fine library. I am anonymous. I'm the part of no government program, and nobody knows that I am homeless. I rented a container or a space in one of those local storage units. And I have a place only a block away. The storage unit is $25 a month. My place at the back of someone's property is $15 a month, and I have a tent there. I have $315 a month on the money that I invested from those sales. I go every morning to the storage unit, and I make coffee. I have a percolator there. It's 24 hours entrance. And then I put it in my backpack and I go to the local park. It's a beautiful park. It's my living room. If it rains, I go to the library. I listen to National Public Radio, and I do what I want to. I like having the time to read all those books I never had time for, and sometimes I do nothing at all. Well, I do go to the library, as I said. That's my living room. I can listen to wonderful music in the easy chairs, and I found also that for $35 a month, I can take classes at the local college where there is an Olympic-sized pool and, of course, a woman's locker room. So I make my toilet there. I don't use mascara or nail polish anymore. The natural look is less expensive. I can go around town for $2 a day on a bus pass. Having a proper appearance is very important to my way of life. I spend $15 a month on the local laundromat. Now, the one problem really is nutritious food. I have $200 a month for that. The local jumping jack has 4 items for $1. So after I have my coffee in the park, I go there for breakfast. I also, once in a while, go to pizza, as much as you can eat for $4.49. And I have found out that a local gallery, which advertises in the newspaper, has receptions where they serve food. Oh, I wear a dress and pantyhose, and I go and I can enjoy the art and also the snacks. I take classes at the college. This semester I'm taking ceramics, choral, and cultural anthropology. I have had good weather ever since I've been here, except it did snow at Easter time, but I have a parka and boots that are waterproof. Christine at the library used to be a reporter, and she's very good at finding out things. She found out how I live, but she doesn't pester me to do anything about it. Oh, and I can sign on for email at the library and connect with my daughter. I get a good meal at the senior center. They serve lunch for $2. I'm an optimist. I think I can do this. Only I don't know what I'll do if I get sick. Pray for me. The next story is called Clara, and it's my adaptation of a book by Linda Lawrence Hunt called Brave Spirit. She wrote the book focusing on the mother. When I worked with it, it came out the daughter. See if you can figure out. In 1896, Clara and her mother Hilda walked across the United States. Part of the time, Clara was walking towards a wonderful future. And part of the time, she was walking away from her past. It came about like this. Clara was the firstborn in a Norwegian-American family. They were homesteaders, that group of people that helped settle our West. She remembered the sod house where they first lived. You see, wood was very expensive on the plains. This was the western part of Minnesota. So a farmer would cut down into the thick, tough grass, into the sod, kind of grass that had been growing there for 1,000 years. Cut out a brick shape, many, and build a wall using for mortar mud. They even the roof was with cross braces made with those sod bricks. Rain came and it would mean a brownness descended very hard on a Norwegian-American housewife. Also, snakes were known to come up through the roof. Also, Clara remembered the babies. She was the first of 9 children. There were many babies. And she remembered the day of the prairie fire. It started out there. At first it was just pink. Just you could hardly notice. And then it was coming closer. And it got orange. And animals were running out from, and you could hear it. And now it was in Pa's wheat field. And her parents took blankets and water and they beat the flames. And they saved the house, diverted it. Saved the flock too. And Clara knew. She knew without being told that her job was to take care of her terrified younger brothers and sisters. She was 8 years old. Well, they made it. The bond was 5 years. If you could survive, make a crop, the land was yours. So what was she do next? In the late 19th century, the railroads were the makers of dreams. That and the Montgomery Ward catalog. They published brochures about cities in the West and why you should want to go there. And Hilda, Clara's mother, she read them all. And she determined that in Spokane Falls, later just Spokane, there were 3 institutions of higher learning that settled it. You're a smart girl, Clara. You go to college someday. They went. Oh, first Papa went out first. He was a skilled carpenter. They were sure he could find work. Spokane Falls was a revelation. 20,000 people up and down the street at all hours of the day and night. Clara loved it. And there were shops with clothes in the windows. But Papa, he wanted land. So they moved again, not far this time, to Mega Falls, also known as Little Norway, where the church and the holidays and the food were all familiar, and Clara knew that her family liked that. Papa built them a frame house with a porch and steps and sheds for the cattle. Oh, it was exciting, but then word came vague at first, sort of like the prairie fire just on the edge out there. Depression, word from the east, something was happening. And then it came closer, and now it was here. And 5 banks in Spokane Falls closed in a week. Farmers had taken out mortgages, they were destitute, and there was no safety net of any kind. Papa and Mama had a mortgage, of course. They could be evicted. Claire came upon her mother standing uncharacteristically quiet in the scrubbed kitchen. Mom? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a stake. I'm going to New York. Mama, we don't have money for a ticket to New York. A ticket? Who said I was going to go on the train? I'm going to walk. Clara, I showed you the piece in the paper of 10,000 McDonald's. The promoters say they could walk around across the country and they would give $10,000. Can you imagine? You can go to college. And Alfie, he doesn't want to be a farmer. We'd set him up in business. Mama, you're not going to walk across the country by yourself. Take Alfie. Take Alfie. I can manage here. I can. No. I can't take my big son. The promoters say that they want to show that the American woman is entrepreneurial. We go in 2 weeks, we can be back by Christmas. Mama, what? These sponsors, they're just sitting there in New York waiting for us to come for a cup of tea, huh? Mama, what do they get out of it? Well, we do. There seems that they're clothes designers, and we have to wear short skirts. We wouldn't be allowed into church, you know that, don't you? We come back here with that, and we would not be. Would you imagine what the Lutheran Bible circle would have to say? Well, now, Claudia Lindstrom would maybe not say a word, because her jaw would be down on the floor, huh? Oh, they left in a week. Now, just think of it. Could you or I walk from here to Ithaca without good boots?